If you are looking a laptop for school, college, or work but don't know what kind of laptop to buy, in this podcast we will discuss how to choose a laptop that suits for your college needs. Hi, my name is Fatan Asari from Tresnology, and on this channel we do tech review, news, and tips and spread new insight through video and podcast. So if you like it, consider subscribing. Okay, number one, ask about the daily software that will be used. The first is to identify what software we use during the study. Then, friends can ask the senior about what software will be used, or can look at the existing curriculum and identify computing needs that must be on. In addition, you must first understand the workflow and use the software for work. Finally, because the software is different, the specifications requirement also different. Identifying needs is important to choosing the right hardware and laptop category. For example, if you only rely on office software to make papers and presentation during college, you don't need high specification. All the latest laptop on the market can run smoothly, but if you are cinematography, programmer, scientist, animator, or do a lot of simulations, be careful in choosing a laptop. Then, what must be done is a list of what software to use. Then, what software will be used frequently. Then, look for hardware recommendations that are capable of operating the software. For example, assume that you will rely heavily on Adobe software, Adobe After Effects, or to create effect on movies or motion graphic, so friends can look for hardware needs on the internet. The problem of each software has different hardware requirements, so make sure we know the hardware requirements that match or exceed the recommendations. Number 2, laptop category. We must understand the basic hardware on the computer. Among the things to remember are the processor, GPU, RAM, and storage. Maybe the display can also be consideration for color accuracy. The hardware above determines whether it can run the application smoothly or not. In my opinion, we can distinguish three broad categories of laptops, namely the are laptop for the office, laptop for gaming, and laptop for workstation. If you only need a simple word processing, presentation, and design application, I think all laptops are capable of running this application. What needs to be considered is choosing a laptop with a new generation of processors. For example, laptops in 2022 use Intel 11th generation or 12th generation processors. Or if you choose an AMD processor, you can choose the AMD 5000 series or 6000 series. So make sure to choose a processor with the latest generation. Then consider the capacity of RAM and storage. For the minimum standard, try using 8 GB of memory. The recommendation is 16 GB. Then for storage, the manufacturer will install a fairly fast SSD if the specifications are like that. No less important is the form factor. Suppose you will often use a laptop on the go or at a cafe, park, or library. It would be better if the laptop were thin and light. You can consider choosing 13 or 14 inches and using a large battery. The form factor is also very important if the laptop is often carried everywhere. Then you can consider a light, small laptop that uses the latest generation of processors. It will be different if your study are related to design editing, video editing, motion animation, and programming. Therefore, you should pay more attention to a laptop specification before buying. What is certain is that in addition to using the latest generation of processors, it also uses capable dedicated graphics. Dedicated graphics are the main focus beside the processor in the editing needs. Therefore, make sure your laptop has a dedicated graphics or graphic card. A graphic card is to process tasks related to the playback, rendering, 3D simulation, and many others. For 2022, the recommendation for graphics card around the NVIDIA RTX 3000 series. At least use an RTX 3050 to get the convenience of editing videos, motion animation, and programming. But for recommendation, it is better to choose RTX 3060 or higher. As for the selection of RAM, at least use 16 GB or higher. Also worth noting is the display. Various specifications related to the display colors are essential to delivering the correct color during editing. If you want to use Apple system, choose a MacBook Pro with an M1 Pro or M1 Max SoC, or you can also choose the MacBook Pro with the M2 SoC, and select the variant with 16 GB RAM capacity or higher. However, you need to spend more than a laptop with a Windows system. The third category of laptop is workstation laptops. Laptop workstation have very capable specification because it is used for 3D animation, rendering, and complex visual effect. It can also be used to perform simulation for certain research, usually using an Intel i7 or i9 and equipped with RTX 3070, RTX 3080 or Quadro series graphics card. So, of course, it could cost more than $2,500. And I think it is very rare for a student to need a laptop with high specification in his studies. Number 3, how much is your budget? The third step is the budget you have. For office laptop, in the first category, spend $500 to $1,000. With a budget range of that size, you will have a lot of choice laptops. What is certain is the latest generation of processors, more than 8GB of RAM, SSD storage, and easy form factor for mobility. Or if you want to add a little more budget, you can get a MacBook Air M1. I think running word processing applications and even graphic design is enough. Next, for video editing, animation, 3D rendering, and programmers should spend more than $1,000. And if you want to get a new generation of processor and graphics card, at least more than $1,500. For example, the Acer Predator series, Asus TUF, Asus ROG, HP Omen, or Lenovo Legend series, and many others. The processor, graphics card, and display color accuracy are noteworthy for editing content. For above $1,000, we can choose an RTX 3050 graphic card. What you need to remember is, when it comes to video editors, the role of the processor and graphic card is crucial, likewise with the animation and 3D rendering. Because generally, the hardware that can be upgraded on a laptop is only RAM and storage. So if the RAM capacity is still lacking, you can upgrade, but the processor and the graphics card cannot be upgraded. Number 4, choose your laptop. Lastly, research what laptop on the marketplace you are going to buy. First, collect a laptop with a price according to the budget. Again, make sure to use the latest generation of hardware or at least the previous generation. Then choose 2 or 3 laptops that best suit your needs. Maybe in the best specs or have a design you like, then look for reviews on YouTube or the internet about the laptop you will buy. Then choose 2 or 3 laptops that best suit your needs, maybe in the best spec or have a design you like. Then look for reviews on YouTube or the internet about the laptop you will buy. Thanks for listening to the Technology Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to get updates on news and tips and share new insight through this podcast. I'm Fatoni Asari. See you next time.